allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary ayé bí nàmbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn so ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ̀rọ̀ àjò. Máyégún ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ̀rọ̀ àjò. Máyégún ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ̀rọ̀ àjò. Máyégún ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ̀rọ̀ àjò. Máyégún ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ̀rọ̀ àjò.
Máyégún ti dé. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún Live. So thank you so much for joining me. And to those of you who are newbies, like, the people who newly joined the platform, somehow you probably have some concerns for the long opening music, right? Okay. So don't get mad, okay? The reason for that is this. Máyégún's Diary Political is an interactive, platform whereby the program itself stretches to 3 hours. So the music actually have their own messages in them if you listen, whether in Yoruba or in a Pidgin, right? So it is also a process of waiting on those who are just going to be joining us rather than spend about 5 minutes, like miss 5 minutes of the program. So the music is to remind them that now Máyégún is live. Do you want to join now? Like put them on notice and then they won't miss anything. So if you are watching a replay on Máyégún's Diary Political and you don't like this long music, all you have to do is to skip it. You can skip it. And I encourage many of you watching Máyégún on Facebook to try and join that YouTube. I have received several messages from Facebook that live videos, live broadcast on Facebook, the recorded video there will be deleted. I think it's going to be in June. So therefore, some of the Máyégún's Diary Political video on Facebook will be gone, but I still have every copy though, right? So on YouTube means you won't miss anything, at least for now, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Take a moment and read beyond the caption of this broadcast, okay? Read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it. Then share it. To invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends and tell them all that Máyégún is live. Join us. Just about a week ago, right? The news broke of this young man, right? His name is now 17, So his name is Quadri Alabi Yusuf, the young man that came to limelight 2 years ago. This was just a few days before your 2023 charade, when he appeared, right, in front of Peter Obi's convoy in Lagos. He attracted, the kind of like the interest of the obedient at the time, who decided to kind of like help him. So people raised funds. It was asked, what was he doing at the time? I think he said, if I remember very well, it was learning handiwork, or he would want to go back to school. Now, cut the long story short, a week ago, right, the news broke that he has been in detention, in prison, right, for months on the allegation or on the crime of armed robbery. Now, that shook everyone, like, how? Then the story became more pathetic when we realized that, you see, that fame of the 2023, obedience movement at the time, right, became his own greatest undoing, or his albatross. I mean, the community where himself and his family lives, right, became hostile to them. And it's like they've been hostile to them enough that the family themselves, right, they were aware, but they didn't know that they would go to this extreme whereby even the head of the community, the Bale in Lagos, right? So they said the Bale called the mom, right, advised her that the area boys, that means the touts in the area, they were angry simply because they felt like all the gifts, all the money given to Quadri by, you know, the kind-hearted Nigerians at the time, that they didn't share it with the community. And when they say community, they are not talking about the whole community. They are talking about the community of these thugs, area boys, they are called. So, a few months back, and I'm talking about, you know, late last year, Kudus was said to be coming back from work, right? When two of these touts grabbed him, okay? And right away, they handed him over to the police on the allegation that some people who disrupted the area earlier that day, right? That he was one of them. And police took him from them. And by the time police would present him to a judge or so, they actually presented him in a group of 4 with other 3 men, older men that he's never met in his life. And then the allegation is armed robbery. So the judge in Lagos remanded him. And that was when, I mean, it was one of the time that all these charity groups goes for prison, kind of like, is it prison outreach, that they came about his story. And there he was. Quadri, that famous boy, how did you get here? What happened? So he told his story enough that the visiting, the visiting charity, one of them had to kind of like share it on social media. And right there and then, if I can remember very well, if some of you probably did see or witness it, because he's associated with Peter Obi, the Ronukus immediately, okay, hang on, I think it was when his story broke. Then I remember that Peter Obi asked this barrister, Idibe Effiong, to pick up the case and find out what really happened, what is going on, and secure his bail if he is indeed innocent. Of course, he is innocent, right? As in the whole conspiracy around the everything. So I think it was when Peter Obi tweeted about it that got the attention of the Agbadorians, the Ronukus. And guess what? Kudus Yusuf Alabi is a Yoruba boy, right? From Oyo State, living with a single mom in Lagos. And to the Ronukus, if you can remember, I mean, if you can read, I mean, kind of like remember vividly, everything that does not align with thiefnubu, right, is considered an abomination. And no matter the injustice, they don't care. They can fly the flag of stigmatization and all that, and they are so horrible enough that they do not even have any iota of human feeling. This little boy is a child subjected to this kind of compromised, corrupt system. He appeared before the police. They built a case against the boy, a substanceless, baseless case against the boy. I don't know how the conspiracy runs, so I don't know how deep it runs. But social media, the same social media that your Satan of Sokoto is demanding should be classified as a terrorist organization, brought it to the attention of the world again. And of course, that was when the DPP, Department of Public Prosecution or something, in Lagos State, became aware that, oh, there is a boy in prison, wrongly imprisoned boy. Now, the long story short, right? About a week after today, right? Yusuf Quadri Alabi was not granted, it was acquitted of all charges, right? Because the DPP themselves have seen the ridiculousness, it's called ridiculousness of this, all right? So, and they withdrew their case. That there's no case. Lagos State is not, so therefore police should withdraw theirs. And then the judge, finally, right, is able to do the right thing. Another judge, of course, which then acquitted the young boy of any wrongdoing. Now, you see, this story is into two bases, okay? So the first one is whenever you are looking for the textbook, like real life example of how a rotten system, bad governance, makes every one of us victims, right? We are all victims. And it depends, right, on the time, but everybody is like going to get a share of it in a different way, okay? Including children that have been advocating for that. When you look at the poverty index, have been a poverty statistic, original one, right? You'll get to see that this demography is populated by children. When you look at the insecurity, areas where Fulani terrorists, boko haram, or ISWAP, or name it, right? Where they have unleashed their violence on innocent people, children, women, children, especially children, have been countless, or should I say uncountable victims in that contraption. But the second phase is what this experience will mean to a young boy. You know, like, you're so young. You never asked anybody to kind of like consummate you or give birth to you. You're so young, and the society is so hostile, right? That you are, I mean, this is the story of millions of young people in Nigeria. You're so young, so innocent, but you just have to grow so fast because the society has no plan for you. It's so hostile that it becomes the struggle, the survival of the fittest at a very young, innocent age. Many of us passed through that, they will say, but not many of us were arrested and locked up for armed robbery when you did not commit any crime. Not many of us experienced that when we were 17 or when we were 16. So the police had to forge their own documents in order to be able to present him for armed robbery that he didn't commit, right? They changed his age from 17 to 18. So this experience, the PTSD of this, will live with this young boy for the rest of his life. And guess what? There are millions of this Quadri who are being served the same or even worse fate by a rotten system that these rogues are foisting on us. So we're going to go to that court and give Inebe his flowers, you know, because this whole thing started a week ago. And today, Quadri is not just free. He is now about to sue the Nigerian police of 100 million naira in damages plus public apology. So it's like the real case is just about to start, right? Inebe, I'm gonna, yeah, that's him.
I can confirm to you that at exactly 2:30 p.m., Mr. Alabi Yusuf Quadri, or Quadri, was physically handed over to me by the authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Recall that about 3 hours ago, the court discharged him following the advice of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Lagos State, where the DPP found that Quadri has no case to answer, that the allegation of armed robbery brought and made by the police is without substance, without evidence, and that he was innocent. However, as you may be aware, when a court makes an order discharging a person, there is an administrative process that has to follow, which is basically for the signing, the preparation and signing of his release warrant. Until that warrant is physically handed over to the correctional officer, it cannot be physically released. So now the warrant was signed and handed over, and Quadri is now free and is going home and is no longer returning to the medium security custodial center. Let me thank all Nigerians and the media for the interest they have shown in the case of this boy. Like I keep saying, you may not understand Quadri's case until you have met Quadri. Those of you that have now seen him, you don't need to have power of clairvoyance. You don't need to be a prophet to look at this boy, maybe by looking at him, to know that, to have reason to question the allegation made against him. So for the fact that a Nigerian child was subjected to this horrendous treatment since January, incarcerated without cause, is unacceptable. Now that he has been released, we have grave concerns about his safety and that of his family. As I speak to you, it is not safe for him or his mother, who is standing beside me, to return to their home. So as I speak, Quadri is basically homeless because their current home is not safe for them. There are reasons why I'm saying that. Apart from the fact that you are all aware of the circumstances that led to him being abducted, he was not arrested. Quadri was abducted by so-called area boys. So, handed over to the police. The same people behind his travels, they have not left Nigeria, they have not left Lagos, they are still within that community. So it is only common sense that his family should be relocated somewhere else. So we'll be appealing to Nigerians of good conscience. Please extend a hand of help to this family, and Quadri in particular. The most pressing need is for us to get an alternative accommodation for them, get them accommodation elsewhere, where his family can stay. They don't have the means. You can see it yourself. The second need is that even though he became momentarily famous during the elections, quite sadly, that fame, was not, the benefit of that fame was not sustained. So he basically went back to the streets doing petty things. So currently, he needs some stable form of employment. He has started learning tailoring. I don't know whether he would want to continue with that, but the point is that Quadri needs some form of rehabilitation that will enable him to be self-sufficient and useful to the country. So we are appealing to any spirited member of the public out there that may want to assist him beyond just the accommodation. Please reach out to me. We'll be able to bring that help to his family. And then lastly, I want to restate for emphasis, and I say this without apology, and I'm ready to say this before anybody in this country. I'm ready to say this before anybody. The divisional police officer of Amoguko divisional headquarters has to be removed. If the commissioner of police does not sanction him, along with the other officers who took part in this act of evil, what the commissioner of police Lagos will be telling Nigerians and the whole world is that the Lagos police now connive with criminal elements to abduct children and falsely frame them for armed robbery. So if the Lagos Police Command has no hand in this travesty, this abomination that has been done, if the IG does not consent to what has been done to Quadri, we want to see an immediate action taken against the officers who were behind it. We are not going to withdraw this demand. And as I have said, the police must also compensate him, and we are demanding for 100 million. Our last demand is public apology. If these demands are not made, we don't bluff. If these demands are not made within 14 days, I can confirm to you that I will be approaching the court. I will also be going directly to the Police Service Commission. One message we want to pass clearly is that Quadri's case is not an isolated case. We are all discussing Quadri today because his case has come to public knowledge. So Nigerians should ask the DPO of Amokoko, how many more Nigerians has he falsely framed for armed robbery? How many more Nigerians has he falsely framed for murder? How many more people have they thrown false allegations on and have them remanded in prison or the custodial center? This travesty has to be addressed, and it is in the interest of the Lagos Police Command to understand the gravity of what has happened. As I want to repeat, we are not going to withdraw this demand, and we are ready to state this demand before anybody and authority in this country. So I thank you once again for coming out, and I want to appreciate all of you who have stood by him, who have shown patience with this family. Nobody should ever have to suffer what Quadri has suffered. I, as the lawyer, you were aware in 2022, I went to prison for 1 month in this country because I took up a case against the governor. Yeah. So I have a practical experience of what it means to be wrongly incarcerated. And that is why nobody should be innocent. No innocent person should ever be made.
At least. So Quadri is like a second time lucky. You know what people said, which I have been sort of seeing reactions, you know me. People are saying that the first thing they should have done, that family, when they came to that limelight, that fame at the time, was to have relocated away from the area. But, I mean, isn't that something that some people feel like everyone does? After they are better off from the trenches, they kind of feel like they don't belong to the trenches. They move to some upper class place. And if everything goes south in the upper class place, you go back to the trenches and all that stuff. I mean, but that's what people are saying. They said that was the first mistake because they said the feelings, or let's say the hatred towards that family by some dangerous people in the community, in that area, like was well, like documented. So they shouldn't have been in the area that long. And that is why they have started a fundraiser for the young man. He was asked, what exactly would he love to do? Like, he's learning how to make, he's learning tailoring. Is that what it's called again, or fashion designing or something like that? They don't just decide doing some petty work just to earn some money that to support himself and his mother. I mean, if you understand, right? So this will be the second time I'm actually hearing him say he wants to go back to school. 2 years ago, he said the same, and there were so many people handling him at the time. But anyway, that will be a story for another time. Now listen to this part of that conversation and the boy himself and his mom.
Should ever be made to spend a day in the prisons.
Can we speak to Quadri about his experience in detention?
Well, you can ask, but he may not be able to say a lot.
Quadri, can you share with us what happened? Were you tortured? Did you come to under any form of abuse? What happened in prison?
How do you feel now that you're free?
I feel better.
How old are you?
17 years.
What do you want to?
This of your
17. No, 17.
What do you want to do now? Your lawyer has said that you learned tailoring, but what do you want to do going forward? You want to go to school?
advice of the how do you
Can you let him learn?
I want to people should help my brother because she don't have anything. Because they don't have anything. Please, anybody can help me. Please. And once you live well, you are staying. Want to live well. Please, anybody can help us. Thank Nigeria, my lawyer, my family, thank all of them. There was no promotion.
you can go ahead. How do you involve this case for the instance of child rights violation in Nigeria?
Instance of what?
For this case, reinforce child rights violation.
Well, there are many children like Quadri in our correctional centers. The juvenile justice system in Nigeria needs to be revisited. It needs to be revisited. And what I have seen from experience, this is not the first time. I've had these battles with the police before. The good news is that we have always defeated them. And this is not going to be an exception. What you will find in each of these cases is that when police arrest minors, most times they will falsify their ages. You heard the magistrate make that point. If they had disclosed that Quadri was 17, not the 18, the magistrate would have asked questions. The magistrate would have had interest in knowing why he should be sent to where adults are being detained. But they lied about his age. They lied about his age. They lied about everything. How can you say a young boy committed armed robbery and you now bring him, attach him to strangers and say they are his casemates, and the whole country is moving on? That is not civilization. And then you go back, the DPO possibly has children, he possibly has a wife in his house, but he went home to sleep. He's not bothered, and you are doing this to a child, people he has never met, he doesn't have any relationship with. You said that he's casemates for armed robbery. Meanwhile, even the touts that abducted him and brought him to me, they claim he was involved in street fighting, which is not true. And suddenly you brought him to court for armed robbery. This is an abomination. And the entire country should be alarmed. Should be alarmed. It's an embarrassment to the country. That is why I'm saying, if the commissioner of police is not part of this evil conspiracy, we want to see the action he's going to take against the DPO. We are not going to compromise on that demand. The DPO of Amokoko must be removed. We are not, under no condition, even at gunpoint, we are not going to shift on that demand. He must be removed.
Can you speak to the mother, please? Mommy, say English, never sabi Yoruba. Yoruba, anyone, the value so. Báwo ni ẹ ṣe, báwo ni yín ṣe dùn sí, báwo lẹ ṣe ló ṣe ṣe lára yín síbẹ̀ ṣe ọmọ yìí.
Inú mi dùn lójú pé wọ́n àkọ́kọ́ pẹ́ mi lọ́wọ́ ánsà mi torí pé kí ni òun ni ẹni tí ó jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí níyànjú. Torí nígbà náà ó lọ síbi iṣẹ́ ń aṣọṣẹ́ gan lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ ọlọ́pàá kò wù àwọn bọ́ìsì mi lọ wọ́n láti ní àwọn ọlọ́pàá rẹ̀. Bàbá ẹ̀ kú sí ìfojú ọdún mẹ́ta lọ tí bàbá ẹ̀ kú nítorí owó tí wọ́n fún ẹ ló yẹ kí ra màálù ó yẹ kí ra rẹ̀ sí. Fáwọn bọ́ìsì ọmọ mi ni wọ́n fún. Yóò tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ owó òtún ọ̀pọ̀ ilé ìpalàgbà níbẹ̀ tó ẹ̀fẹ́ rí sójú àtọ́ ìgbé ìyẹ̀sì bó ṣe rìn ọmọ ilé ń lọ síbi iṣẹ́ ṣó ti yé yín àmọ́ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo èyí tó àgàgà lọ́ọ̀yà yìí èèyàn ni wọ́n àwọn méjèèjì àti Peter Obi Ọlọ́run ní pa báyìí ní agbára Ọlọ́run.
Mọ́mí ṣàkọ́bí ni àbí ọmọ mi lè lẹ́bi.
That's my last born mi ni.
How many other children?
Ọmọ mẹ́rin péré náà ni mo bí obìnrin kan ṣoṣo ọkùnrin mẹ́ta. Mrs. Bola Alabi.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
I mean, that's the story. You can say he's lucky. And you can use his own story as a point of contact, right? If you want to understand how many children like that, yeah, have been lost into the system because of some corrupt officials who are so corrupt enough that they do not have any preferences or what have you, children or women or men or, you know, who have become victims of their evil trade, right? I'll leave you with that imagination, okay? So let's take a bit of a detour. And this time around, let's talk about, power or darkness in Nigeria. In 2015, when Bukwari and the rest of the Al-Qaeda People's Congress, APC, Egbekegbe took charge of Nigeria. Nigeria was generating at the time over 9,000 megawatts of electricity and distributing how much? 6,000 megawatts of electricity. There's a record for it. Then Bukwari came in. Before we could just say Jack, Nigeria electricity that was never enough became even worse in epilepsy, like warapa. So Nigeria electricity or national grid started collapsing, like somebody suffering from chronic convulsion. Billions of your money, hundreds of it, trillions of naira expended in upgrading the Nigeria electricity. 8 years after that, Nigeria's power generation dropped drastically. I mean, drastically down to less than 5,000 megawatts of electricity. How do you industrialize with that? What happened to all the past investment? They generated darkness. Then another darkness took over Nigeria in 2023. I mean, it did not only sustain that tradition of darkness, they monetized the darkness. That's what they did. They monetized it. Tarrif on electricity was removed, or increased increased astronomically. They created bands, band A, B, C, D, E, F to Z. And that is called monetization of darkness. Bayo Penkelemesi, the Baba Salah minister of darkness, under thiefnubu, druggy himself, has now come out at a point he actually said they were building, solar panels that would then generate 19, they have 19 states in northern Nigeria. Oh, sorry, yeah, like the way they put it, not northern Nigeria, the north and the middle belt part of Nigeria, 19 states. So Penkelemesi, the minister of the Baba Salah, minister of darkness, right? Then came out and said they were going to add 19,000 megawatts of electricity through solar panel, solar power, right? Anyway, let's cut it short. Now he's promising again that, forget about that solar panel, 19,000 megawatts, okay? By 2026 or now 2031, thiefnubu would have increased the Nigeria electricity to 8,500 megawatts. That is their target now, like an ambition. Now, would you call that progress or retrogression? It is the state of Nigeria right now. So, here with me, let's hear what he has to say, right?
Demonstrated when we signed the Nigeria Energy Compact in January in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. This initiative, which is led by the World Bank and the Africa Development Bank, aligns with our aspiration to expand energy generation and access to our people. The initiative is called Mission 300. is an initiative of the World Bank and the AFDB. And the target of Mission 300 is to extend energy access to an additional 300 million Africans between now and year 2030, out of the 600 million currently lacking access. When they decided on this, there was a research and that concluded that there are existing 600 million Africans out of the 1.4 billion Africans who lack access to energy. And they decided to reduce this by 50% within the next 5 years, between now and the year 2020. It's a joint initiative of WB and AFDB. And they are going to support this with resources. A total of $30 billion, $35 billion coming from the World Bank and $5 billion coming from the AFDB, which will even be complemented by donations from some philanthropic organizations like the Rockefeller Group in the US. So this initiative will be realized based on a 5-pillar strategy. Number one is expanding generation, strengthening utilities, that's the power distribution companies, incentivizing private investments, accelerating renewables, and boosting regional integration. We are all aware of the West African Power Pool, whereby there is a collaboration among all countries within the West Africa sub-region to ensure that there is improved energy security and energy transactions across the region.
Nuisance Lele.
All that talk because they want to add non-existing 4,000 megawatts. That's why he's speaking all those grammar that's, like all that nonsense, quoting all the jargons. That's how he talks, though. He talks a lot of nonsense. In that same conversation, by the way, he also brags about, the profit margin that the GENCOS, the electricity companies in Nigeria, recorded in 2024 alone. According to him, right, while the rest of you were paying for darkness, they were cashing out for real. He said over 700 billion naira was made for generating and distributing darkness. But isn't that lucrative? Anyway, this part.
And improve energy security. Over the past months, we have continuously made progress in generation through some of the initiatives I will be highlighting. This is key to achieve energy security. On 2nd of March 2025, Nigeria reached a remarkable generation available capacity of 6,003 megawatts, marking the first time this level had been recorded in the country's history of the power sector. Let me thank our agencies, our operators, that this was achieved during our time. We have crossed the bar of 6,000 megawatts for the first time in the history of Nigeria's power sector. That is not enough. This achievement was followed by a peak generation evacuation of 5,801.44 megawatts on 4th of March 2025, which also saw an impressive daily energy output, the highest ever, 128,370.75 mega hours per day on that very day. We've always been in 118, 119,000 megawatts on a daily basis, but we achieved 128. That is the highest energy ever consumed in a day since power sector came to being in Nigeria, and we are proud to achieve this. Thank you. Now, on summary, the average daily power generated and distributed in the past quarter of 2025 was 5,700 megawatts. Compared with what we met when we resumed office, average of 4,100 megawatts achieved in the third quarter of 2023. This indicates a growth of 1,600 megawatts, nearly 40% growth since we assumed office at the ministry. Thank you. This is very important to us. I came into office August 20, 2023. And between July, August, and September, what we achieved was 4,100 generated, evacuated, transmitted, and distributed. And it's always been like that. Even though there were spikes in the past, it would go up, it would come down. It was not sustainable. And it took the country about 40 years. In 1984, when Alhaji Rilwan Lukman was the Federal Minister of Power, we achieved 2,000 megawatts of power generation. We took this to 4,000 about 2016 to 2022. So it took the country between 35 to 40 years to achieve 2,000 incremental generation. But this administration, thanks to our Mr. President for his support, in 1.5 years, we grew this from 4,100 to a peak generation of 5,800, 1,700 in 1.5 years. What we are saying is that past administrations have their own positives. Creation of the NIPPs, privatization of the sector, a lot of things that they achieved. But if they have been adding at least 1,000 megawatts of power since 1999, we'll be talking about 26,000 megawatts plus 2,000 plus 4,000. That would be about 30,000 megawatts of power in Nigeria today. But we cannot keep dwelling in the past. It's the way forward. Now that we have created the trajectory, if we sustain this trajectory, I can assure you that before the end of this administration in 2027, the first 10 of this administration, 2027, we should be able to generate and distribute nothing less than 8,000 megawatts of power. Thank you. So, given that it took the country almost 40 years to achieve an incremental 2,000 megawatts average energy, we accomplished this in less than 2 years. Though, through targeting and improved energy security, over the past months, we have continuously made progress in generation through some of the initiatives.
That's how they lie. All he has to do is to repeat it again and again. And that's it. It becomes the truth. He himself will begin to actually believe it. You know? But yeah, I actually do wish you all the best with these rogues going forward, right? Talking about roguish behavior, by the way, right? Yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, that we saw the video of this Chinese guy that lined up, or this Chinese that lined up Nigerian policemen, and they were sharing money. So it went viral. A lot of people reacted to it, including I think it's NIDCOM, right? Nigerians in Diaspora Commission or something, right? The guy has come up to apologize, but not until after this.
Good morning, fellow Nigerians, both home and abroad. I bring you greetings from the Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, China chapter. As the acting president, it is my responsibility to respond to a recent matter that has not just gone viral, but has also stirred up a very deep concerns within our community here. Recently, a video surfaced showing a group of Chinese in Nigeria are filming themselves as they lined up our national police force and handed them money interchangeably. Perhaps this video was intended differently. It was posted on a Chinese public platform, the WeChat. And since then, it has been widely circulated, both here in China and in Nigeria. Let me just be very clear. This video has caused a very big embarrassment, not just to the Nigerian police force, but to the dignity of our nation and its people, particularly to us in the diasporans here. It has sparked conversations about our integrity, our sovereignty, and about how our institutions are perceived globally. After a group of diasporans who saw this, said, no, this isn't right. We can't be embarrassed like this. We lobbied, we reported these videos, we private chatted the people that posted this video, and it was deleted finally on WeChat. The video was taken down on WeChat. This said video had a lot of comments under it. Even the Chinese locals here questioned the people that posted this video. Why would they do what they cannot do here in China? Why would they do it abroad? I mean, who gave them the authority to do that? We did. We gave them the authority to do that in our own country. This is a no. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable because it raises several concerns. First of all, this action sends a damaging message about the autonomy and the professionalism of our national police force. This can totally undermine the diplomatic standards of engagement between China and Nigeria. This action also reinforces a very dangerous perception that the national institutions in Africa are very much up for patronage. Nigerians, we must never allow our pride, our institutions, or even our sovereignty to be used for such performative acts. This only reduces us to participants of charity. We're not beggars. We're not begging. We can't be begging with such a place where people of wealth, people of knowledge comes from. We must demand mutual respect in all our international dealings, not just handouts. We're not charity beggars. Nigerian police force, we cannot be doing that. We cannot do that. Because you are in the forefront. Whatever you do represents us. Please, to our leaders and all that is concerned in this matter, this is a wake-up call. We are begging you guys to double down on the reforms that protect our national pride. We can't continue to have the civilians no more better than the people in the police force. We can't have the civilians remind the police force, which is supposed to be in the forefront, what to do always. This is not right. We are begging you guys to please retrain our police force, retrain them on their identity, on what they are to do and what they are not to do. This is getting out of hand. It is getting out of hand. Thank you so much to all the Nigerian diaspora communities who came out to fight against such disgrace. Until
I don't read social media anymore. They abuse the hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure. I get angry. I don't read it. So, if I want to hear anything, my children or any of my workers will tell me, this one say this one. If I'm tired, I say, please, forget it.
So, whenever you have a message for thiefnubu, don't put it in the social media. Because it's got phobia for it. That's the indirect way of saying I got phobia for social media. But anyway, president of Nigerians in diaspora in China, right? Except that I agree with you that, things should be done right. At the same time, it sounded more like somebody who is living in denial, pretending that this is new. I agree that you can profess the complete rejection of such a behavior, okay? But you do know who you are talking to. The Nigerian police, the men in black. Come on, wrap it up, all right? These are career criminals. You don't get it, eh? They are awarded the most corrupt institution in the whole world at some point until the Nigerian judiciary took the trophy from them. Now they are number 2. So don't let us pretend, okay, please. I don't know how long you have been in China, okay, but let's be for real, right? Anyway, they are in China, they understand the Mandarin, which is the language, right? So they probably saw the comments, those who condemn the behavior on this popular Chinese app called WeChat. The guy now decided, and I think that is the reason why the guy decided to apologize to Chinese. He's not apologizing to Nigeria. Do you think this is an apology to Nigeria? Because I know that Nigeria is in serious debt, right? Enough that if what happened to some of these African countries that hold China money and they have to take over their national assets, if that should happen in Nigeria, we told some of you that you should begin to learn Mandarin so that when you enter the train, right, you can understand what is the Chinese name for Amukoko, Ajangbadi, and then on and on like that. Everywhere we train shall pass, because very soon we would have to begin to communicate with the train inspector, who is Chinese, by the way, right? No, it has happened before, but I don't think that is happening yet in Nigeria, right? That is why I concluded that you sort of like embarrassed Nigerian police, and you put it on the popular Chinese website, right? Chinese app, WeChat. Listen, China alone, their population is about 1.4, how many billion? 1.4 billion, right? The population of the entire Africa is also put at maybe 1.4 billion. So you can imagine the audience that knows what Nigeria is. And I think that won't be the first time, right? So the guy decided to apologize to Chinese. You can't tell me this one is apologizing to the people of Nigeria. Have you seen so Chinese?
近日，本人带领中国考察团一行到尼日利亚考察投资的机会。在这个过程中我们本地的警察给我们提供了非常优质的安保服务。为了感谢安保人员的付出，我给他们发放了餐饮补助，以表示对他们工作的肯定和感谢。这些餐食补助并不代表任何的其他意思，更没有不尊重和侮辱本地警察的意思，单纯是感谢。现场氛围也是相当的友好，并没有包含其他的任何的不好想法。但是这个事件由于我们随行的人员不了解本地的文化习俗和规章制度，把这个过程拍摄下来并发送到网上。他们是第一次来到尼日利亚，对我们的安保团队造成了不良的影响，对此我深表歉意。本人这些年一直致力于推动中尼经贸友好合作，带领更多的中国投资者来尼日利亚投资，为两国友好发展做贡献。虽然这次的事件在网络上有一些负面的影响，但是这并不影响之后我继续推动和带领更多的中国投资者来尼日利亚投资。最后，我再一次就这个事件给所有相关人员和有关部门带来的影响表示歉意。在这里也提醒我们国人，来到尼日利亚投资一定要了解当地的文化和习俗，了解。
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say,
want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not, the time is coming when you won't need a car to travel.
Please don't ask me to interpret. So that's why I said that beforehand. When I saw that apology, okay, that's the man. We haven't seen the woman's apology though, right? But that's the guy that was in that video, okay? So he has apologized. We just have no idea what he said. I mean, what can we do? What we're gonna do? You're asking for interpreter, okay? I'll work on that, okay? Now let's move a bit away from power and then this international disgrace that the men in black brought upon Nigeria. It's not new. Not really kind of like, I know there's something called the false rage. What kind of nonsense is this? How can the Nigerian police, how can these people come to our country and they are recording this? You better calm down. You calm down. In all honesty, are you actually angry? Say the truth. Are you angry that you see Nigerian police, corrupt Nigerian policemen collecting bribe in the video? Yeah, be honest. Or you are just like following the whole feeling like this is so wrong. Yeah, which I agree, right? But I'm not angry. There are many worse things going on that actually really keeps you angered forever. That's not one of them. So you tell me, like for real, like when you saw that video, did you not just shake your head like, oh, God damn it, man. It's the Nigerian police. Sure. I mean, look at this Chinese. Can they do this in their country? But no be their photo. Nigeria police, very, God damn it. Oh, sure. Were you angry? That is it. For those of you who are still claiming to be one Nigerianist, now some nerves in you, right? Some nerves in you that somehow, right, is touching your emotional side of your brain, right? That emotional side of your brain is like the part where you get attached to something, and the attachment is going to be like almost death sentence, and it's a death sentence, right? So that is why, but genuinely, you tell me what exactly is that thing, right? That can get you so, and that thing about Nigeria, somebody will do about Nigeria. And you, as a one Nigerianist, right? You're going to get mad like a patriot. Tell me that thing. There is nothing about that contraption that gets anybody so enraged enough to say, we need to save this place. We need to fight for our fatherland, our motherland. They're not even sure. So is Nigeria your fatherland? They say, yes. Is Nigeria your motherland? They say, yes. Let's go to Africa. Anyway. So it's just false rage. And if you are one of them who pretended that you are angry, be honest, angry with you. So many worse things there that ordinarily will keep you angered, like you're going to remain angry for a very long time, but angry without real action. Okay? And it seems that the social media is a place where, since people are not allowed to physically express themselves, like express yourselves, where when you love something, show it. When you don't like something, show it, and just that right of being human. You get what I mean now? So it's been physically taken away from the people. People are just like zombies being pushed about, scared, right? So social media is just like a place where you just scream that you are angry, or and you leave it there. Another angry mad person will pick it up and say, I support you, Jerry, my brother. Let me scream my own scream too, kind of. But that too is a threat to the establishment in Nigeria. So the last time, it was the Satan of Yokoto who decided to call the same social media's terrorist organization. It didn't make, like, It didn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It will never make any sense. But again, when you see those who are worried that maybe in no distant future, people are going to maybe take this their rage, anger, vituperations, and all that from social media online to offline. You know, that time that people will be singing "Eat the rich, eat the rich," and everybody will be looking for that particular elite in their own area to eat. That's what I think, right? But it's a bit extreme. In a place where terrorists are shouting Allahu Akbar, cutting people's heads off, ransacking villages and massacring women and children, kidnapping those they can kidnap to collect ransom, the same ransom that they always bring to the same social media to flaunt right there in our faces. You get? But they are not terrorists enough. You know, they are not terrorists enough to the Sultan of Sokoto. The same social media is also a big threat, right? So this APC, Egbekebe, that used the same social media to take over power, right? And they decided to burn the bridge, right? Burn the entire platform. It boomeranged. Unfortunately, people have become so captured that APC, Egbekebe, could still unleash an electoral haste on them in order to continue to try to take away their free speech. Unfortunately, they want to switch it off. They said they want to switch internet off or switch the social media off, right? But on that same social media, they are paying hundreds of billions of naira, funding propaganda, lies, blackmail, threats, name it, then spying on the same citizens, right? So, but the only thing they lack is to control the same social media. So when the Sultan of Sokoto said that yesterday, it's a pleasure that a northerner, I believe, decided to respond to him. But before this northerner's response, okay, there is that of the very dark man. I don't know what he said to the Sultan of Sokoto, so the Arewa youth. They have now given him 48 hours to apologize to the Sultan of Sokoto. Or what? What do you think will happen? We'll find out, right? But the first one is this response. I hope Satan is watching, by the way.
Social media is now a terrorist group, a terrorist organization, according to the Sultan of Sokoto. And what are his reasons? It brings about religious intolerance, and it brings about division of Nigeria. And who told you that Nigeria is not already divided? Oga, wake up, collect your money. Nigeria is already divided. People are just waiting for the official pronouncement. That is just it. Nigeria is already divided across people that see things from an objective point of view and people that see things from a fanatic religious point of view. That is just it. And you know why it's not yet fully blown? It's not yet fully blown. One, because of the resources in Delta, which is the crude. And secondly, because if you are to impose that other ideology fully on every other person, it will be challenged. It will be kicked against. And that is why you now have a situation where they are lying low. They are waiting for the right time to come for it to fully manifest. And that is just the fact. Who told you that? And when you talk about religious intolerance, where were you when these fanatic cleric scholars were indoctrinating children? They are creating a problem that will live after them. If not, where did people like these young children, get this ideology from? I want you to watch this before we continue.
Shekara sana. Shekara sana. Daga na kuka janyo shi. Shi ne kuka kawo shi a bakin masallaci. Ko ya shiga masallaci ya sallaci. Ya shiga masallaci.
So please tell me, where did these children, small children, get these ideologies from? For those that doesn't understand Hausa, these children, one of them is even threatening this guy because he doesn't pray in the mosque. That they are saying he's an arne, and apart from an arne, he's threatening to break his neck. They are forcing him to go and pray. And you know, a lot of these campaigns, clandestine campaigns, have given birth to a situation where leaders are not elected on the basis of merit. They are elected on the basis of religious fanaticism and sentiments. And that is what gives birth to the likes of them Dracula. Well, the fact is, I don't want you to think that Dracula is actually the problem. Dracula is not bad in its entirety. Dracula have realized that he needs to become a vampire for him to command that power and for him to be able to protect his people. And that is why he has become that. So Dracula is not the problem. But the proceeds, the activities that gave birth to him is the problem. And I want to say this to the Igbos, please. See, Dracula fully knows well what he's doing. I am telling you. And you people and Dracula have a similar ideology. Very similar ideology. You are progressive in nature. Anybody that attempts to divide you from Dracula on the basis of the fact that people are, not be today, people begin to suffer. And Dracula is not the cause. Dracula fully knows what he's doing. But when it fully manifests, you will get to see, even when I'm alive or not alive, I am telling you, you will see what Dracula is all up to. That is what I need to tell you. So calm down. We not Otilo. Now only God will save us. And the fact is, we believe that with these little things, possibly it will change the minds of those sitting on the fence. But those that are not sitting on the fence, those that have been finally conclusive in their ideology or whatever, nothing can be done to change that. So please, unite to Dracula is your man. Dracula knows what he's doing. But the fact is, you need to become a vampire before you can be able to command power. Dracula fully understood that. So that is why I don't waste my time talking much about the government is supposed to do this. See, the fact is, the system have been infiltrated already with a high number of these people that thinks according to fanatic religious belief and tribal sentiments. That is just it. Let's tell ourselves, how long can we keep lying to ourselves? So the fact is, please, in as much as we are trying to redeem what needs to be redeemed, know who is for you and know who is against you fully, and go with him. That is all I'm trying to say. The fact is, another thing I want to say is, I see this kangaroo movement of alliance or whatever, trying to form alliance, SDP or whatever, with a lot of vampires as well, trying to finish what they have started. I laugh and I joke. But the fact is, for power to return to these vampires. If my man, Showore and Peter Obi cannot get it, I bet you Dracula should remain. For 20 years, Dracula should remain. And by the time you know the master game, the master plan of what Dracula is all about, you will celebrate Dracula. I am telling you. That is just it. Let them form alliance.
A lot of you will sit there and be like, what is Dracula? Right? And what does it mean that a Dracula must become a vampire? What did he mean when he said that for the North, Otilo, you, the Igbos, your progressive nature or Republican nature means that you are Draculas, but you must become vampires if you want to be free. Now you can put together all of these, you know, sort of a wordplay, right? And then it will tell you something. Vampire drinks blood, right? And if you know that Dracula has just the mouth, right? The body to squeeze you, that bigger snake, right? So Dracula would have to drink blood as well, which means it would have to become bloody. It would have to become a revolution. It would have to be something that majority of you are currently maybe not prepared for, or maybe not made for. Anyway, so as it stands, right, a lot of people are very much aware. And he says something, by the way, he says something about why Nigeria is still one. It is simply because there is still oil to share, kind of, right? So the moment the Delta oil dries and access to others refused or kind of like rejected, then you realize how easy it is to break up in Nigeria, right? Whether we are here then or not. Time shall tell. In that same breath, the Arewa youth, right, have given a very dark man 48 hours to apologize to the emir, to the Sultan of Sokoto. So what will happen if he doesn't?
My name is Ambassador Abdul Dambature, the president of Northern Nigerian Youth. I want to quickly call the attention of a very dark man based on the comment he did against our father, our royal leaders, the Sultan of Sokoto. We want a very dark man should quickly withdraw his statement and apologize to the Sultan of Sokoto. And we, the Northern Nigerian, we are giving very dark man 48 hours for him to do that. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. He didn't put or. Okay, I put or. Yeah, I mean, that video or that video, yeah, that it shouldn't end at thank you. It should be or. Because, you know, majority of you would ask the same thing as you're watching that. You're like, okay, and or. So wait to go up, go like Northern youth. What are you gonna do to him? We shall see, right? Because to those that they are going to demand apologies from, like every day, we have people who have something to say, right? When it comes to this illegitimate Koolu regime, a pretentious or a pseudo democracy that you're practicing in that contraption, you know, where you have the first daughter, then you have the first son. And the first son, thiefnubu, that lost his school, who claimed publicly at the time that everybody just was coming for their family. Everybody, they keep coming for me. They keep coming for my father. My father is the best. You know, remember that meltdown? That kindergarten kind of like a debate or meltdown, you know? Here is the chief priest, right? From Yoruba land, okay, just so we are clear, right? He has a message for Sheyi, for his father, and also like Idris. this is not about you per se, right? It's about your father who grabbed power, snatched it, right? Ran with it, only for him to run everybody into the drain right now. But he's the best daddy to Sheyi. But is he actually a good president? So they've been powers. Here is the message though.
I was watching a video yesterday and I reposted a video on my channel where Sheyi Tinubu was sending a video message of threat to a lady who said she was ashamed that Sheyi Tinubu said that his father is the best governor, best president in Nigeria. Asking him, aren't you ashamed to say that? Sheyi Tinubu, we did not, let me make it very clear, we never voted for you. It is the court of the land that said we voted for your father. Ilé ẹjọ́ ló sọ pé a dìbò fún bàbá ẹ̀. Àwa ò dìbò fún ẹ. Ilé ẹjọ́ ò dẹ̀ sọ pé wọ́n la dìbò fún. For you to be using your position as the son of the president, threatening Nigerians for complaining that you claiming that your father is the best president ever in Nigeria is wrong. And you are now saying I will arrest you. Sheyi Tinubu, you are doing what no president's son has ever done in Nigeria. We've had great presidential children. But Babangida, as bad as he was, and one may Lord on us. Abacha, may so rest in peace. You understand? If it is not because of the people around him who made his government to be torturous for Nigerians, Abacha regime would have been the best in Nigeria. But his children never lord over us. We didn't vote for you. You are now using our own money, filling a position we did not put you into, to be threatening us. Well, anyone Nigeria, send your father's henchmen to come and arrest me and kill me. The only job that I have to do in this world, I have done and I have completed it. And I wait for my death every day. And that job is to raise my children to independence, that they will never be a calamity on themselves or on the society. And thank Olodumare, the God that gave us Ifa Oracle, the only truth among the terrestrials that we have in this world. I have done that. So to be scared of you and be afraid not to talk, I repeat myself, I'll dìbò fún ẹ. Ilé ẹjọ́ ló ní bàbá ẹ̀ la dìbò fún, and that ilé ẹjọ́ did not say we voted for you. So for you to be using our money, our own forces, to be threatening us, your time will pass like the rest. And the story of your family treating us like piece of garbage that you throw away will remain. Remember, no story of any leader in this country has ever gone unwritten or unsaid. Every evil they do, even though they will come back in the future and try to rewrite history like Babangida, we will always remember. The children coming behind us will remember. Your own group, the troop that you are forming, because I saw you in a uniform, having a paramilitary organization, calling them the youth movement. You're creating something like the rapid force in Sudan. Listen. Àsìkò ní gbogbo nǹkan, àsìkò ní máa lọ. Àsìkò ẹ fún Doye Tinubu, your great grandmother, ó ti lọ, but the story remains today. She remains somebody in the history of Yoruba land that we will not forget. We classify her as an enemy of our land. She was banished from this land. Remember history. Remember history. When you take your own people for slavery, when you sell them for slavery just for your own personal gain, it will end up to backfire. Your time will come to pass.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
So, if Sheyi or those around them know what is actually better for them, right? It will be to try their best not to put himself on in people's faces for too long, because I've had people say, "What the revolution about the beret? Maybe people don't drag this one with me, no drag that one with me." So people are actually saying that. So there are those who are saying, "Leave this one for me, leave that one for me." So for his own sake, it is a needless advice, so probably unsolicited, right? Probably never going to be worth it. So we are going a little bit further, right? This time we are stopping by in Lagos. Okay, this is this is where Wahabi Wole was at work. I'll tell you where. Watch this.
Let me see now. Why are you covering your face? Okay. How much did you buy this? You bought it there too?
No, I didn't buy it there.
You came with it
separately.
Where did you buy this?
This is just the guy.
I know. Where did you get it?
Just around
market. Okay. So this one, open your hands now. Why you doing like an handicap like this? How much did you buy this?
Just 5,000 naira.
So how many grams is this? Just 2 grams. That is 10,000. The whole of this. Too much. So you bought this 10,000 naira, and you came with this your friend.
No, I didn't go there with her.
But you went out with her, right?
No, I didn't. We met at that spot there. We used to know each other.
Okay.
So we met at that spot there. So while I was buying, she was trying to use.
Where do you live?
I'm living for Lagos.
Yeah, for Lagos.
I'm living in Barua.
Barua inside. Barua inside. Where were you arrested?
They arrested me.
That's one road. What do you do? What's your business?
I can't lie to you. Talk to you. This thing where I live, I know good life for you. I don't know small. If they give me small, we don't want to find job.
What's your name?
What's
the English name?
English name smoke.
Smoke. What other thing do you sell? Apart from India and
no, India, apart from that cannabis, I can't say I never get anything.
So Wahhabi is not just about the environment, right? It's also about the characters of people within the environment. So it clears them also. We see that all the time. That's from Lagos. And of course, it's somewhere around Beda. Is it called Gowon Estate, right? Yeah, Gowon Estate in Beda. It's called the Beda Road, too, right? So similarly, in Nnewi, the office building complex for the Innoson Motors is also being pulled down for a road construction. Nnewi is in Anambra, by the way. The kind of demolition that was recorded in Kano State yesterday is not that of a building demolition, okay? It was actually two groups of football supporters demolishing themselves with every kind of weapon they could find in Kano. So they were the Arsenal and the Real Madrid supporters after their game yesterday. Have you seen this?
Wallahi Allah kaga wani da baccin abu da Allah. Don Allah mugun da bacci ba. Ya baba. Yana ina. Jona zalimi. Sai Allah amma gurin mashin kana yake tafiya. Ina kwakwa yake.
Zai kwana faɗin Barcelona da Madrid. Ka ji ba don manzon Allah jini haƙi ne ka tashi. Wannan Barcelona da Madrid. Wannan yau ba ci a gurin. Mutanen nan ba su da hakuri. Dan me za a dinga cin su to? Wai ba za a ci su.
I mean, it's called football, right? Sometimes you're going to feel like, oh, is there no government in it and all that? Well, somebody shared a video, very short, and it said, this is the road to the finance commissioner's village. And this is a finance commissioner in Benue State. Okay, so this is the road to his village or somewhere. And then the first thing you probably will think of is there no government? Because Nigeria has no real government per se. And that is why those who are doing just so little in their own looting, looting adventure, people tend to appreciate them because Nigeria is a place where you can loot everything, steal everything, give them substandard projects. Like, let people see you loot them dry. You have your supporters because you are expected to actually loot them. Not looting them, they won't believe you when you say you didn't, or I didn't steal any money. No, shut up. Who they believe this one? Go and say that to the Marines, right? So people expect you to loot and steal from them and then give them lives like this. Sorry, there is no sound. However, where I got that video from, I wasn't so disappointed about the video, the way I was shaking, reading the reactions of Nigerians. I want to so far go like your criminal leaders, right? They don't deserve anything good in this world, honestly speaking. Like, people have been subjected to serious kind of like generational suffering, enough that people were saying this is still better. But this one is great. If you come to my own village, or if you come to Keneko village, have you seen the one to Keneko? This one is better. In fact, this one is a perfect construction that I will even appreciate if they can bring this one to my village. You know, the government can't do everything. At least we should appreciate any little thing they did and all of that stuff. I'm like, man, you won't save Nigeria. Where are you going to start from? Others are saying that Nigeria is now looking more like a place without government. You don't even have presidents. Your president is always visiting you. Don't you know that like a Bukwari, thiefnubu is also a visitor to Nigeria? You don't know that? No? Okay. Like, Nigerians have been so bullied, abused, right? That Nigerians themselves will be telling you that thiefnubu doesn't have to even live in Nigeria. They said it during the Bukwari's time. thiefnubu is the minister of power. thiefnubu is minister of agriculture. thiefnubu is the minister of defense. He has appointed people to go and do the job so he can be president from anywhere. That's the life they've subjected, or should I say, that is the kind of life that the Ronukus have been doing everything to normalize for everybody. Like, what are you going to do if you don't even agree? That's what they will ask you. What are you going to do? You don't agree. What are you going to do? So I don't know what to do, but this is very wrong. This is very, very bad. How can the president of this... Tinubu has been away from Nigeria now for nearly 17 days. In fact, 17 days. In the last 10 days alone, right? Terrorists have gone berserk. They've gone rogue, like they've gone mad, as they have slaughtered soldiers. They've slaughtered civilians. And I'm talking about over 140 human beings killed in the last 10 days. Killed. Emphasis on killed. Not that, the people die everywhere, right? But they don't kill people everywhere the way they are doing it in that contraction. And even this Satan of Sokoto said yesterday that the number of people being killed in Nigeria in a month is far, far, far less, according to him. So the number of people being killed in advanced countries every day. That's what he said. He said every day. People being killed in London, in Canada, in America. People being killed every day, right? They are more than the people being killed by terrorists in Nigeria in a month. Satan of Sokoto. You know what I mean now? But in all of this, nobody has heard anything from thiefnubu. Nobody has said anything. Even though some of their food soldiers, the bubu sellers, the sewage dwellers, the voluntary slaves, the ombud slaves, including those ass lickers, the ass kissers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the all risers, as you know them, the bat idiots, you know them, Sharai. This is what they want us to normalize. If Tinubu can be your president from anywhere, what are you going to do about it? You disagree? What an undermining, ridiculous statement coming from anyone. Well, coming from ridiculous people, by the way. And Tinubu and others are so lucky. They don't even have to do much. They don't have to. The psychologically defeated Nigerians, they will do the job. They will do the job. It's turn by turn, Ona-Ofun-Nuga, the 80-year-old special advisor to Tinubu on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter matter, right, has dropped a quote. And this time is to tell everybody that Tinubu can run Nigeria from anywhere. And mind you, he's no longer in France. He's now in the UK. I don't know if they take him to his son's house. He's got a house here. His son's got a house that he bought for over 11 million. I mean, sorry, 11. Hey. It was actually 11 million pounds also. I mean, I wanted to be like, hey, calm down, Mayegun. 11 million. Like, it was true, right? What's that? So we saw the news when they said the same Sheyi, who is a billionaire, by the way, right? And the courtesy of his father's, what do you call it? Inheritance. Nobody even gave it to him, but inheritance, Lagos inheritance, kind of, right? So I don't know if he's going to stay in his son's place, or if he's going to stay where Bukwari used to stay. You know that place where I went to shout, Bukwari, go that year. I don't know. Some said that it's like, co-treatment. That's what the UK and France are giving to him. France is where it's like the headquarters of Nigeria now, right? And that is the place where they can have his urine bag change, check his duct and all that stuff. I don't know what he is treating in London. So Ona-Ofun-Nuga, who told everybody over 2 weeks ago that Tinubu will be away for 2 weeks. Now they are telling everybody that Tinubu is not coming back until after the Easter holiday. I know some of you will be like, wait, who cares? That's what I'm saying. He's so lucky. Nobody cares. Right? He's so lucky. So he can be your president from anywhere, of course. I mean, Bukwari did it. He laid the precedence for it, right? So Tinubu can just continue from where Bukwari stopped. And then people can go to places, right? The sad thing is that majority of us in this generation will never understand what good leadership is. Those before us who are supposed to be our own parents, the forebearers, right? They never really experienced anything called good governance. But what they had, when you compare it to what we have, right? They feel sorry for us, for those of them who have ATO. They feel so sorry for us. I say, man, it wasn't this bad. You know, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't this bad. It's so hopeless right now. Then there were hope where you can, if you try this, if you try that. If you are to be hopeless back then, there must be some factors, you know, like, well, this time around, every factor shows that you are going to be hopeless. And the entire system is there to frustrate you, to make you that hopeless. So they feel sorry for us. And we may never experience anything called good governance in our lifetime. Not in that contraption. Lucky you, those of you who have jackpot, who left the contraption a while back. You will never understand. Even if you try to think you do understand, or you want to understand, you will never understand the effect of bad governance and getting used to it, normalizing abnormalities, right? That's something that a lot of us are never going to be comfortable with, right? There are those whose reality is that, right? Terrible governance, bad governance, cold-hearted criminals, freeloaders, you know? And they will never experience good governance. Damn. Like, you will never experience good governance. You will never experience 24 hours electricity. You will never experience a motorable, good, free, passable road, right? No police harassment or whatsoever. You will never experience. And this is not a cause, okay? Don't say it that way. It is the system that you have been programmed to protect and defend. And as you continue to defend it, the beneficiaries, those who put it together, the beneficiaries of the proceed from it, right? Will continue to fund your ignorance in such a way, right? So they will ensure that not only that you will never experience good governance, because this is now you're going to experience good governance ever, right? Where you're going to be treated like human being, treated like a real human being who have rights, right? So you are never going to experience it, so your children too. They won't experience it. It's not a cause. You can't plant guava and then expect to harvest, what's that, beetroot or oranges. It doesn't work that way. You see, this idea of now only God will come and save us. You know, God will come and, that's bullshit, man. That's nonsense. Every action have a possible counter or contrary reaction. That's how the world works. So when Tinubu is enjoying his royalty and getting people to excuse it for him when he doesn't have to worry himself, right? When he's doing that, communities, villages, all over Nigeria, they are picking up their dead. Whatever was remain. Those who couldn't even like touch their own dead are joining others to dig the shallow graves to bury multitude killed by terrorists. Not even a single word is heard. On this radio program, I love what this lady, what she did, to remind all of us where all these tragedies have been happening. Where is your president? He's in London.
I think I align with our guest when he said that this is, you know, a precursor to a lot of things that nobody should rejoice about it. Nobody should say it's because it's happening in Jos. It can get to anywhere.
There is an adage in Igbo language that says, "Ebulo zonye ozo or digika osisi." I will interpret. If the corpse of another person is being carried, perhaps someone that is not related to you, you see it as a log of wood. But when it touches you, you understand what the families of those that have lost someone actually go through. From Bokos to Barikin Ladi in Plateau State to Ebonyi, you may think it's just happening in the North Central. You get to Ebonyi, Ivo Local Government Area Council, it happens there. You get to Kwande Local Government in Benue State, you get to Buruku, it happens there. So it's not an isolated case of what happens in Jos. You even get to Kaduna, you hear of these killings. But I want to say that what the president said, as usual, I condemn. Anybody can sit in the comfort of their homes and condemn that particular action. But for you as a president, you have the apparatus, you have the security personnel, you have the intelligence, you have the technology to fish out these people. And all you have done so far is to condemn. We need to get beyond that condemnation to action to ensure that people in these communities are safe.
Honestly, sometimes it looks like there's a typewritten statement to issue when things happen like this, but we want to see actions, just like you have said. Beyond condemnation, we must get to action. If we don't bring people to book, do you know that in this same plateau, there had been a committee, different commission set up to, you know, bring people to book after attacks upon attacks. Have you heard that anybody went in for it? People are in jail for it. So we must become a consequence now.
Nigeria is not a country of law. It's a lawless place led by criminals who are supposed to be in jail, lawbreakers who are making laws, budget padders debating budgets, right? It is a place where you can say the vultures goes to scavenge, right? Nigeria is like the burial ground, okay? Or on a burial ground where vultures actually parade, ravage, scavenge, do whatever it is, because it is the carcass and all the whatever it is in that land, right, that the vultures feed on. So once they do, their doctors are in America, Saudi Arabia, France, UK, Canada, or even Germany, right? Their children, schools in America, right? Saudi Arabia, they are there schooling all over Europe, being funded with the same money they are looting from the same poorest people in their country. You know? And not just that, their wives, as well as their concubines, their side chicks, they go on different shopping sprees. Their shopping centers are in Paris, they are in New York or London. So they live off this. The people that they are stealing the money from, they are left in squalor, you know. It's like they are doing you a favor whenever they come around to accord the tape to this local clinic where you can't even take your dog to. And they want the people to kiss the ground that they walk on simply because they can choose to steal the money. So if they decided to build you a hen house, be grateful. And you have to show that graciousness, like you have to show that gratefulness, rather. You have to show it publicly so as to encourage them to do more. Nigeria, when it breaks, some people's lives will change forever, right? Because the reason why they are who they are right now is because of this disjointed contraption. It pays them. It works well, you know, but it won't be forever. So Koolu and Co, like that priest said, their time will pass. I mean, this is a phase. It's just so unfortunate that it is not as easy as that, all right? Because if you kind of pay attention to what these guys are stealing from you, they are taking away from you. Every now and then when they have the opportunity of making your lives better, but they choose otherwise. Now, if you sit down to kind of like probe it, right, you can see that it's not just the coming and the passing of these eras. It is what they take from you. Bukwari took 8 years of your lives. I'm talking to those of you whose finances, family, lives generally got affected with the situation that they brought Nigeria to. There are real victims. That's what I want you to know. There are real victims. Some of us who are in the diaspora today, especially those of you who had to sell your own belongings, right, to Japa, right, like everybody running away from that place. In the last 3 years alone, you will see those people who have once said they would never, like, why would I want to go and live abroad? But they ended up having to sell everything, begging people to give them links. They want to japa. Now they've japa. Some of you are watching it from where after you've japa, because you are you are probably the luckiest ones, right? That the storm of Buhari's ruinous policies did not consume. So right now you're watching from distance, counting your losses, looking at yourself and be like, hey, me, I'm going to do this 9 to 5 for hey, me. But you're counting your losses and you're also being grateful to, to what the life has been for you, right? So there are those people who are direct victims that right now, if you get to see them, they are now the shadow of their former selves. Then thiefnubu happened. It's like sending people into the meat grinder. We just send them in there, make the machine, they grind all of them like that. And you just have more. Say, you're not running out. You've destroyed over 10 million people's lives. So there is more. There is more. I have more people to destroy their lives. And that is thiefnubu. So everybody gets to know where they belong and then what they are also defending. Just make sure that whatever it is that you are standing up for, you're standing for, it's not like you are self-destructing yourself. And there are many people who are doing that. Blinded by tribe, religion, ethnic, and other destructive inconsequentials. On Mayegun's diary, political, the plan is to lay everything bare in front of you and give you less reasons to give excuses. I didn't know that, but it's because you're not watching Mayegun. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I'll see you some other time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I know you won't forgive me for not taking calls, but see, I'll tell you some other time. But like the broadcast before you go, though, right? Good night. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá ayé ẹ̀sùn rájò aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o ayé ẹ̀sùn rájò òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú ayé ẹ̀sùn rájò ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o ayé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.